If you're heading to a trade show or event with your business, I think a checklist is going to be your ultimate secret weapon. So in this series, it's a 5-part series that I'm creating, which is the ultimate guide to shows and events for equine businesses. And we're on part 4 now. I have covered so far how to know if it's the right show, how to plan and prep for the show, how to have a successful stand. And now we're on to your checklist, the things that you need to do. And in the next episode, we're going to cover what to do after the show to keep the flow. So, are you ready? Let's dive in. You're listening to the Stable Business Podcast. I'm your host, Jenni Bush, here to chat all things equine business with a new episode every week from me or from the best in the biz. Now, don't forget to leave a review and, of course, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode when it drops. So, welcome to the Stable Business Podcast. I am Jenni Bush, your host, here to bring you all things equine business and help you to grow your business. So, if you've got any questions or if you'd rather read all these tips, do head to jennibush.com and check out the posts section, which is my blog posts, and you'll be able to find all of these tips, and of course get your hands on the free printable version of this list, because I have made one so you can actually just download it, print it off, make it your own, and get going. Okay, so how do we need to plan our checklist? So of course there's pre-event stuff, so decision making. So I would be thinking about, okay, my checklist on here is, have I identified that my ideal clients are coming? Do I know the footfall or the ticket sales? Yeah, so again, then I can calculate how many things that I need to take. You're not going to sell to 100% of those visitors, but you can work out what your rough conversion rate could be and create off that. Do I know the vendor to visitor ratio? So do I know, like, there's nothing worse than being at a trade show, there's 100 stands and there's only 100 people visiting. That would be awful, wouldn't it? So have you got an idea there's actually people coming? Your next thing on your checklist is to calculate your event costs. Do you know the full event cost? Have you added a buffer onto that as well? Because these things always cost more than we planned for in the first place. So I would get that on. The next thing on your checklist is to define your intention and your purpose. So what I mean by that is, are you there for sales? Are you there for brand awareness? Are you there for leads? You know, what's the purpose and how are you going to do that? Because that's a real key part of your planning. And then set your target return on investment. Like, what do you want your return on investment for this show to be? And then you can actually plan effectively for it. You need to make sure that you're also using a reputable trade show organizer, somebody that's done it before, ideally, or if they're going to charge you the big bucks. And you've got your promotional opportunities or sponsorships lined up. Determine any logistics and set up requirements. So do you need to book hotels? Do you need to travel places? Do you need to have certain booth requirements? Do you need to, I don't know, get the right different, change your insurance or check your insurance? So logistics and setup requirements. And of course, assess like the duration and your staffing needs and evaluate your competition's presence there. And I have got a little calculator that will help you to do all of that. The next part of your checklist is all about your planning, your strategic planning. So marketing and promotion should be your next title on your checklist. So design and print flyers and marketing materials, finalize the strategy and stand design, plan lighting and order your banners, or order your whatever you're going to do to put around the stand. You're going to arrange your furnishing and seating, so you can make sure that you've got things, you've actually got things to put things on, that you know how that the booth is going to be presented and what you need to put into that. You're going to prepare any giveaway items, and you're going to look at your stock levels and make sure that you've got everything that you need. And you're going to set up payment processing. You're going to plan also what to wear. Is there a uniform? Have you got a dress code? What are you going to do to make sure that you stand out and you look smart? You're going to actually write out the questions that you want to be asking people to engage, have a little bit of a script. And I spoke about this in some of the previous episodes, actually giving people that option. Like, if you've got staff with you, having that script can really, really help. Not to read off on the day, but just beforehand say, okay, this is an example of what we need to say. This is things that you could ask, just so they're not left going, I don't know what to say now. You're going to organise your team support, and you're going to think about your engagement questions. You're going to brief your team and identify hashtags and collaborators. You're going to plan any photo opportunities and attire or anything around that you can use to boost a bit more presence. You're going to connect with organisers on social media. create follow-up email templates. You're going to review staff needs, payment terms, insurance, and conduct risk assessments and ensure you've got the right insurance cover. So those are all really important things about the strategic planning, but I'm sure there's more. This list is not exhaustive and you can add stuff to it, but hopefully it gives you some ideas to get things going. So then we've actually got, we're getting ready for the show. We're going to go off. We're going to pack. We're going to make sure that we've got everything in. And I think packing list is so essential because you're going to be so stressed. There's going to be so much things on. So actually have a list that you can tick everything off as they go. So tables, chairs, display stands, banners, signage, tablecloth. Really, really important. Then you've got your lighting stuff. So do I need lighting equipment? Do I need extension cords? Do I need stands and clamps? Then you've got your stock and your giveaway items. So have you got your products? Have you got your promotional items and your giveaways? Have you got your brochures and your leaflets? Have you got business cards? And then you've got the admin and the stationery. So I'm thinking your pens, markers, Sharpies, absolutely essential in my opinion when you go to these places because you just never know when you need a Sharpie. I always used to take some pieces of card actually that I haven't put on their card, and I'd take a couple of sheets of white paper because you just never know when you need to write stuff down. Notebooks, notepads, staplers, scissors, tape, sellotape, duct tape, masking tape, pins can be really helpful, and then into the miscellaneous supplies. So I used to like to take some cable ties because you just never know. And I don't know if I put on here scissors. I have put scissors. Good, we've got scissors. We need scissors. You always need scissors. So you might need cable ties, Velcro strips, safety pins, blue tack, rubber bands. Those command hooks and adhesive strips are really, really good. Sort of double-sided tape. That could all be really useful when you're building your stand because you never know when you get there when you're trying to set it up, something breaks or whatever. So yeah, think about that. And then of course you've got your technology and your electrical stuff. So if you've got your chargers and your power banks, if you've got your extension cords and power strips, if you've got batteries, if you've got your laptop, if you've got your tablet, if you've got your mobile phone, you've got your calculator, you've got your payment processing things, anything around your electrical stuff, get that into your list. And then, of course, you're going to make sure that you are comfortable and you've got your health needs met. I always talk about this. You've got to look after yourself at these things. So water bottles. Yeah, maybe you need some tea and coffee stuff. Maybe you need some snacks. Maybe some hand sanitizer, some tissues, pain medication, small first aid kit, breath mints, glucose stuff, lunch. Lunch might be really, really key. You might need a sandwich throughout the day. So that's really, really useful. And then the final thing that I would put on my packing list is stuff to clean up the stand as we go, because you need to keep that stand looking great all day long if you possibly can. So you might need some wet wipes, you might need some disinfectant wipes, you might need bin bags, rubbish bags, cleaning spray, cloth, some kitchen rolls and paper towel, dustpan and brush can all just help you to just keep it a little bit tidier. And then at the event, you can have your checklist at the event. So you want to make sure that you set your stand up and you've got your clear branding and message. You've got your proper lighting and it looks great. It's tidy. You're going to make sure that it's inviting and it's safe. So you've met your health and safety needs and you've checked in with your risk assessment and you haven't broken any of that. You're going to make sure that you've got your snacks and your water. You've scheduled your rest breaks. You've got your safe storage for data. And I spoke about this. If you're collecting anybody's details, remember you have duty under the data protection laws. You've got to keep it safe and make sure that you've got safe storage for payments and everything, and how you're going to make sure you manage the money. And so you might have some more things that you want to add to this checklist. You can get the checklist to print off and download and add things to it. It's on a Google Doc, so you can add stuff to it. And then you've got your lead management. So again, making sure after the show you're going to follow up with people promptly. You're going to review the event success and areas for improvement, because again, it's easier to do it once you're there and you've got it on your mind. Write it down. Then identify anything that needs replacing after the event as well. So yeah, what worked, what didn't work, what needs to just go away and be binned. Utilize your social media and PR for leverage. Write a review of what went well and what could be improved. Add any photos to an album and file it for reference so that you can reuse it, you can repurpose it, you can use it through content all throughout the year, blog posts, social media, and everything else. And then you're going to make sure that everything is stored and packed away properly for ease of use. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about after the show in the next thing, but it's so important actually. Like, you're going to be tired at the end of this show, so I want to make sure that actually you've got things put away properly. And that could even be a case of when you're practicing your setup and you're taking it down and you're putting it up again, you can actually plan to make sure that you can put it away properly with ease, so you're not having to go home and then sort through everything. Because I know, especially if you're doing outdoor trade shows and it's been raining and it's wet, you're going to have to dry all that off as it is. So if you can put everything else away properly, it's going to be one less job after the show. So I hope this is useful. Let me know if there's anything you'd add to this checklist. And of course, I will see you on the next one where we're talking about all about after the show and how to make sure that you can maximise the show afterwards. I'll see you on that one.